What's up, you guys? Welcome to episode 5 of the Greens podcast. Today, we are welcoming Rachelle Gordon from GreenState.
Hey, how's it going? It's so good to be here.
Yes, thank you for joining us. So you are actually our first guest that is joining us from Zoom. We've had all our guests be in studio, but I made an exception because there is no one who is the better guest for this particular topic. I have been wanting to have you on the pod just regardless, but this right here, I'm like, why am I going to be trying to find somebody else when like you're the one here. So I'm glad that, we have amazing producers like Petty Cash Studios, and shout out to Alex for being like, don't let that stop you. Like, you can absolutely do the pod of your dreams that you want. And I was like, let's do it, man. So thank you so much for accommodating and doing this. So we want to kick off the episode 5, with a good little bong rip, right? If you were here, you would have a mota in your hands, but we're going to make do. What are you smoking on this afternoon?
So I actually have some pineapple. It's actually a high CBD strain that my husband grew for me. I have this cute little canna style, like crystal ball, since we're going to be kind of crystal balling the future of MJBiz. So I'm going to smoke out of that. I wish I had a mota. We're going to have to fix that. But
You're going to get a mota
soon.
soon. Yes. I love how you weaved that in. And let's take a moment there. Your husband, shout out to you. Congratulations on your recent marriage. Congratulations. I know that was recent. So shout out to you on that. I noticed that the H drop there. But no, I love that bong. Is it hard to clean?
Truthfully, I've only ever used it like 3 times, so I haven't had to clean it yet. It is a little funny trying to like get the water in and out. You put it through the downstem or like whatever. But she's really cute, but I haven't like gotten it all rezzed out yet to the point where we need to clean. I have a feeling though that looking at the shape, that it probably would be difficult. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this one's more like for decor, for special occasions only. Obviously, this podcast is a special occasion. So
yes, I'm glad you brought her out for this. So I am smoking off the mota. So this is actually one of our art series pieces. We are having a Black Friday sale, code Black Friday, Mota Black Friday, for anybody who's trying to join the Mota fam. But what I'm smoking on today is actually some really delicious cannabiotics. Shout out to Nima and the whole team, Frankie, the whole team is awesome. So the reason why they're a sponsor is, we'll get back to that when we start talking about MJ Biz. But that's what I've been smoking on lately. They were also a sponsor for the Latinas in Cannabis Summit. So I just love quality flower, and I think more than ever, we're starting to be more discerning about, where we buy it from and who we trust. So shout out to you joining us and the amazing fun we're going to be having in a week. I can't wait to talk about it. But before we do, let's kick things off with the bong rip. Cheers, guys.
Let's go. Cheers. Let's go.
Ooh, tasty, earthy. Love that. What are you tasting? Are you tasting that pineapple?
Yeah, definitely. It's way more herbaceous than I thought. He only recently harvested this. It's been curing in the Grove bags for a few weeks now. It's very earthy. It's almost like a little spicy. I'm not getting a lot of fruit. But yeah, really good. I'm curious, like, which of the cannabiotics are you smoking? Because all their shit is fire. Wait, am I allowed to swear on this podcast?
Yes, you can definitely swear. Imagine if I didn't let my guests swear. I can imagine a weed podcast where I'm like, weed is fine, but do not cuss or I will kick you out.
Makes sense.
I want you to express yourself in whatever way you want to, but I guess now that you mention it, probably not offensive things. I should put that in the rules. Like, you can express yourself in any way, cuss all you want, but maybe not like rude stuff. But that's cool. Now, see, you're helping us grow as a podcast. So the strain that we are smoking on today, this is the Tropicana strain. So also a little tropical here. I'm tasting more earthy notes here. But I just love their stuff. So I'm excited to kind of learn more about what they've been doing this year and what they got going on for next year. I'll tell you why when we start talking about more of the conference. But first things
Okay.
first, let's talk about you. I really want to learn more about you. I've known of you a little bit in the industry. I feel like when we were at Hall of Flowers earlier this year is when we had more of like a an experience to really know each other. And I want to let you know, to everybody, she's an amazing person. It was really great to chit chat with you and get to know you, but also just like chill and smoke, and we had some drinks. And what I loved about it too is that like we didn't, it's kind of silly to say, but we didn't take a bunch of stories and make it all Instagram. Like it was just us moment. Did you notice that? Like we all just kind of spent it with ourselves.
Yeah, I did know that. And there were like a lot of really badass ladies there. And we were just in a vibe. And like, shout out to Lindsay Meharry, Oyster Girl, for bringing us all together. Like, it was just so cute. Like, we were sitting in that beautiful house up on that hill, sitting on the deck, just being really cozy and talking, like, just being real,
Yeah.
And it was actually kind of awesome to not just be thinking about, like, oh shit, like, we got to get the content, like, quick, grab your phone. We were literally just like, yeah, being in the moment. And it was a really great way to get to know you because so often, especially when we're at these weed events, all we're doing is just like on our phones, like we're
Yeah.
working, working, working. And so I actually felt like we got to be more authentic and yeah, just get to know each other on a more personal level. It was awesome.
I really liked it too. Shout out to Tabby. She's my colleague and friend. We were at basically the house for all their sales reps. I was joking that it was kind of like a sorority house because it was just a bunch of girls in one house, and they're working, they're hustling for Hall of Flowers, but they're also a bunch of young girls like getting to know each other, smoking. And so I think the vibes of that night were kind of like older sleepover girl vibes because it was just us girls. The boys were in their corner. Who knows? They were just hanging out. And it was all of us girls chit chatting, talking about the industry, our work. Maybe that's why, like, if phones were down, because we weren't trying to like be out there for gram. Like, we were getting to know each other and having some drinks. So I look back at that time, and it was really special to me. I look at times like that when I've met people in the industry where it's not all about show, and it's really just about getting to know each other. And I cherish those moments. So shout out to the industry, the plant, for bringing us all together in this way. But yeah, it was really great to get to know you, and I'm excited that you're here. But for those who don't know you, who haven't had a chance to drink and chill with you on one evening, tell us about who you are, what you do, and how you got into cannabis.
For sure. So I've actually been writing in cannabis for a little over a decade. I am currently the editor of GreenState, which is a cannabis lifestyle publication. It was started by the San Francisco Chronicle in 2017, actually by David Downs. I took over at the helm almost 2 years ago, and we're a lot more like B2C. We're trying to educate the consumer. We're trying to provide accessible information about the plant. It's a lot of fun. It's a national publication. It's not just San Francisco anymore. So that's been really cool. Before that, I was doing more freelance type work. I've written for pretty much everybody in the game. I was in High Times, Cannabis Now, Beard Bros, just, everybody across the board. I've also done some brand copywriting for like Bovida and Humboldt Seed Company, places like that. The way I got into weed, though, actually is kind of interesting. I was not actually trained as a journalist or a writer. I actually used to be in education. That's what I went to school for. And I was working as a teacher. And in 2011, I actually ended up getting a felony cannabis possession charge outside of school, obviously. But because of that, I had to quit teaching while I was dealing with it. And started just doing kind of random jobs, office jobs, things like that. And I started doing writing more as a side hustle at the time. It always came easy to me in college. And I started writing mostly more about like sustainability, education, topics like that. And then as the legal cannabis industry started happening, I started finding jobs in that space. And then, got out of drug court, my felony was dismissed, which was sick. And then fast forward, a lot of right place, right time sort of stuff. Now I'm like flying all over the world, writing about weed and making friends like you. And it's been a real blessing. I often say like that if I hadn't have been busted, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. So it sucked at the time, but I think it was for the best ultimately.
Oh yeah, I think that I love that story, first of all, but also I feel like that's such a big, theme in life, where sometimes the things that we go through that are so bad when we're going through it, we happen to go on the other side and notice that we couldn't be there unless that happened, right? And I can tell you
Yep.
that for my own experience, I look at some hurdles I've had to overcome in my life and career, and now I wouldn't have it any other way. It's just not possible, right? But I know that when you're going through it, you're like, why me? Like, but I
Yeah.
think, yeah. But I think that maybe it might get too spiritual here, but I think that a lot of us who do happen to go through these trials and tribulations in a weird way, we kind of are chosen. How do you feel about that?
Oh yeah, no, 1,000%. Like I don't necessarily know if everything happens for a reason, but I do think that everything happens the way it's supposed to happen.
Mm,
And I often think about, I talk about my dad a lot too. So my dad had epilepsy when I was a little girl, and it was really serious. He could not be treated by medication. He
wow.
went in for a surgery, to try to correct it, and he ended up having a stroke, and he was like paralyzed. He had brain damage. But knowing what we know now about cannabis for epilepsy, I know for a fact that cannabis maybe could have saved his life. Like we just didn't know any better. And so I used to always think like, why did this happen to my dad? And now I try to honor him and what we went through then too by educating people about the plant. So that kind of stuff doesn't happen to somebody else. So yeah, I
Wow.
definitely think that I was put in this place for a reason, like for sure.
Your bigger purpose. I often speak about, as a cannabis entrepreneur, your purpose, and whether you're an entrepreneur or or doing something different, you have to remember your purpose. And I feel like things fall in line when you follow your purpose. Things just kind of align and you
Yeah.
don't know why, but like things come together. That's how that's a telltale sign that you are living your purpose. That's really beautiful. So you got into cannabis just kind of exploring this different path and kind of ended up kind of joining your purpose there. Did so you were didn't have any kind of prior journalism experience, but you had writing, like chops, basically.
Yeah, exactly. I always enjoyed writing. I did a lot of
Yeah.
creative writing when I was young. I was always the person in school where like if something had to be written or we had to do like a play or something, they'd always put me on it. I was on the speech team
Mm.
and whatever. But no, I didn't take any writing classes in college. I never studied any sort of communications or journalism. It just sort of ended up being that it
You're
was
called to it. You're called
yeah,
to
I
it.
was called
You're
to it.
called to it. And
Yeah.
honestly, it's stuff you can pick up. And I know that, so I happen to have gone to journalism school, so there's so many rules and stuff like that. But you can learn it as long as you follow them, and you are following, the ethics of journalism and PR, like anybody can do it. So it's really great to see that, and you're championing the plan in such a great way. You also you were at the California State Fair earlier this year as well, right? I saw that
Yeah.
amazing gold outfit that you had on, which was amazing because you looked like a trophy, and you were also speaking about that. And it's so great that you're doing all these things, and cannabis has a way of like taking us to other states and other countries even. So much of the industry is going to be in Las Vegas in just a few days. They say that
Yes.
this is the largest MJBizCon, by the way. MJBizCon, they say that MJBizCon is the largest cannabis conference in the world. Would you agree?
It's definitely huge. I would say it's for sure like the Super Bowl of weed. I mean, the only things that I could imagine that would maybe be bigger would be like a Spanibus or a Mary Jane Berlin, but those
Mm-hmm.
are a lot more like consumer, right? As far as like industry specific, like this is it for sure.
Wow. So they are really, I saw a couple emails saying that MJ Biz is the Super Bowl of cannabis. So what do
Yeah.
you think was the motivation behind that statement? So when I think of Super Bowl, I think of like a showdown. I think that people are coming and one of them is going to win. I don't know if that was the motivation behind the name, but I feel like competition and like cutthroat is definitely a theme. What would you think that some of the motivations behind the word Super Bowl for you?
I mean, I would hope that it's a little more playful, right? Like, because the Super Bowl also brings people together for lots of like ancillary events. And also, like, we're definitely going to be smoking some Super Bowls while we're there. I would hope that's it. I hear what you're saying, though, girl, because like there is a lot of competition in our space. There's a lot of like scarcity mindset
Mm,
right now because of the way things have been going. We've been in a downturn. And I know that people are really, really hopeful. And especially when new markets come online,
yeah.
people come out to MJBiz, they want to learn, they want to see how they can tap in those markets. And it's like, oh, quick, like grab, 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 grab. Like, let's make sure that we're getting what we can out of this. So I definitely see what you're saying about it being a competition. I would hope that it would be more like fun though, and just like more about the gathering as opposed to like the competitive nature of it,
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
know?
Well, because I wonder the word Super Bowl, like it just kind of like I think like what are themes that I think of, and I'm like, are they playing on the competitive aspect of everybody in the entire industry? But I agree. I think a more playful look, people coming together, all eyes on this situation or this event, and so yeah, I can tell you that I'm really excited. On their website, they really talk about kind of their conference as being at a hub for so many business professionals. They started in 2011, and so they say that MJ Biz is the most trusted media and event brand, and they serve the cannabis and hemp industries in US, Canada, and globally. So I personally I've been to MJ Biz a couple times, but this is actually going to be the first time that I'm going to the actual conference. So I've gone to Vegas for MJ Biz Con like week basically, and it is some of the best networking out there. I mean, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a mover, a shaker that is trying to make stuff happen, this is the kind of conference that you go to make deals, to advance your mission, and to build your network to get to where you're going. So, what number BizCon is this for you?
Oh man, let's see. I've been going since 2017.
Oh, okay.
So there's been a lot of them. Yeah, I can't remember like in COVID in 2020. I can't remember if we like didn't have one that year or if it was just like hella lockdown. It was such a,
Mm,
it was such like a fuzz,
yeah.
like in that time. But yeah, I've been going for a hot second for
Wow.
sure. And
So
I
one of
definitely go every year.
That's great to hear because there are people who have gone every year. We had a guest, Alex Halperin from Weed Week. He mentioned that he's gone every year, I think since 2014, if not 2011. I remember you're gonna have to look back at that episode, but he mentioned going like every year nonstop, and it's a unique perspective going every year and seeing how it's changed. Have you been able to kind of experience some of those changes? What would you say are some of the things that you've seen change over the years?
I mean, that's a really great question. Like, I would have loved to be there back in the day when they very first started, when it was really small over at the Rio, and it's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. One thing that I have noticed though is that there's kind of been like a wave that happened. Like it was really, really big, and then it started getting like a little bit smaller, and it's still massive. What's been interesting to see is kind of the layout and the types of people that are coming and exhibiting versus the people who are just coming to town for like the parties, the networking, the chandelier bar at the Cosmo. I think that sort of evolves, right? Like
Yeah.
some people, they start out like they're walking the floor, they're doing the thing, they're going to the panels. And then a few years later, they're like, nah, I'm just like posted up at the chandelier bar doing my thing, right? Like, so that's been an interesting evolution to see.
Yeah, yeah. So the chandelier bar at the Cosmo is like very well known for being like a meeting hub for so many business people at MJ BizCon. Personally, like I mentioned, I haven't been to the conference yet. We would go to the chandelier bar and go to meeting suites because that's where a lot of deals are happening. The conference floor, people are showing, you're meeting people, but then you're going to the chandelier bar to close something, right? And so I'm excited to kind of, for the first time, actually experience the show itself and walk the floor and see what that's about. And it's exciting to see what MJ Biz is doing this year, right? So you covered it on your article. You talked a lot about what they've got going on, what they're doing differently. And I think one of the things that I'm really excited about is the California takeovers. Um, for us particularly, but they're having state takeovers with every state that's online. Oklahoma is coming through. Shout out to Thunder Walker for being the organizer and moderator there. And Texas is coming through, Colorado. So I think that they have a stage dedicated to the state takeovers, right?
Yeah, I believe that's the hub, which is over kind of on the far end of the floor. I was checking out the map, planning out all my meetings and stuff. And yeah, that'll be really cool. And I think it's important because there are people coming from so many different markets who want to know what's going on in their market, or for people who want to expand, and maybe get a licensing deal going in a different state. So I think that's super duper valuable. They have so much cool new stuff this year, and I think that's going to be really useful.
It is a lot. They have so much programming going on. I just want to take a minute to shout out Kelly, Samantha, Brittany, Lauren, Chris, so many other people that team, their creativity to kind of think of new ways to kind of give people spaces and give them platforms to speak on what they're doing, and give them an opportunity to connect and network and make stuff happen. So I definitely want to shout out their team. And I also took a look at your article that you posted. Thank you so much for mentioning the stuff that Latinas in cannabis have going on, and so many women, right? You talked a lot about, what women got going on, and you specifically had a mention saying that this is probably the MJBizCon that's most featuring women that they've had, which is really just really beautiful to see. And I think that it goes to maybe the testament that they have so many amazing women on their team, right? That they are actually including so many this year. So GreenState, this went up on November 20th on greenstate.com. This mega weed event is coming back bigger than ever, you said. So tell us a little bit about this piece. How was researching it and putting everything together? Was it crazy just like scouring the internet of just what's going on?
Yeah, because as you can see, there's so much, and there's a lot that didn't get mentioned, right? Like normally I'm calling out, more of the panels and things like that. Like here's the programming you don't want to miss. But there was so much stuff happening that was new. I kind of wanted to focus on that, plus all the cool stuff that's happening outside of the convention center as well. It's almost like Cannabis Week, right, in Vegas. And so I know one thing that I wanted to expand upon, and this is actually really cool. So there's a new section called the Vault, and there's going to be breeders and like geneticists from around the world, and they're going to be selling seeds for the first time at MJBizCon, which is really cool. And in fact, there's going to be like limited drops. I know in the past it's been really difficult to attract the farmers to MJBiz, and I get it, right? It's usually in a busy time of year. It's expensive, right? But I think that having that element is going to be really, really cool for the growers who want to pull up. I know Mendo Dope Boys are going to be dropping some like limited edition strains. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff over there. I'm excited to check it out.
Wow, and you're so right. Usually the growers are like, okay, you're for the Emerald Cup, and the MJBiz is for these kind of people. But it's really great that they're finding ways to really engage with them, because they are business people as well. They have to do their business. So I'm glad that these spaces are being facilitated for them. So this year's MJBizCon has several additions to this year's agenda. So part of that is the California takeovers, which is going to be led by Sue Carlton, aka Ranchera Mami. She's one of our Latinas in cannabis and a good friend of mine. So excited for her to be hosting that on this session. So basically, we get an hour block, right? And so what we're going to be doing there, it's going to be really great. We're going to have the first block of time. It's going to be marketing leaders pass the mic. And so it's going to be folks like Julie Chiarello from Skunk Mag. It's going to be Tom Bowers from California Leaf Magazine, and a few other amazing people. But they're all going to give their 1-2 about how they grow their brands and how they, really develop them over the years. People like Julie have been in the game for so many decades to where she can talk about, what she's been doing to keep her brand relevant. And so they're going to be doing that. And then we're going to transition to the Blazing Saddles panel. This is going to be moderated by Lance from Blackleaf and First Smoke of the Day. It's going to include myself. It's going to include Cannabis Cutie, Tammy. It's also going to include J.M. Balbuena, the author, and amazing Latina in cannabis as well, and just so many other great people that are going to be on this panel representing California. But there are so many states that are doing the same that like I really am excited to check out the hub specifically. It's so much programming is going to happen there. So you also mentioned here offsite that are things that are going on. What are some things that really caught your eye in terms of offsite?
So one thing that's going to be amazing is the high stakes stage happening over at Planet 13. So it's curated by Kat Sidman. It's presented by Good Life Gang and Beard Bros. And it's 3 days. And I believe that you guys have something going on there as well.
Yes, we
And so
do.
I think that's going to be super sick. They're inviting so many different unique voices to come out and present, new ideas. There's going to be live podcasting. I know on Wednesday, we're doing a little media panel at noon. It's going to be myself, my colleague Jason from our agency Can Studio, Jessica from Fat Nugs, and then my friend Jeff from MG Magazine. We're really excited about that. And in the afternoon, there's going to be tons of really cool research from Dr. Miyabi Shields and Dr. Riley Kirk, the science of smokability. I know they are so cool. I'm actually really mad because I have to go and do some interviews when they're talking. And so I hope I can make it back for the Weird Brains finale at 5:15. That's going to be sick. But I think that Planet 13 is going to be humming all weekend. I think that's going to be cool. And then that night, and I know we're going to talk about parties in a little bit, but they're going to have their annual, GLG Beard Bros party presented by C-Cell. And like, that's going to be off the chain too. So I think Planet 13 is definitely going to be one of the places to be for sure.
Yes, Planet 13. That came out of left field for me. I did not expect that, like, okay, I thought they were going to do the party thing. Okay, yeah. And then it's like a full on, like, side event. And it's great because people don't want to be in one space. They want to move around and break it up. And so, yes, we are having a space there December 6th on Friday from 2 to 3 p.m. We're having a Latinas in Cannabis takeover. So we're going to be having a little time block. And so on this time block, I'm being super intentional with it, right? We are doing a round table discussion about allyship. Because allyship is always a conversation with Latinas in cannabis. Can I go to the event? I'm not Latina. Can I do this? I'm not Latina. Yes, we have a very inclusive community because we're all about supporting Latinas, but also encouraging that allyship. So when I was booking for this panel, I was chatting with Brian Holler from the Beard Bros, and I'm telling him about this topic, and he's like, absolutely, this is something that I feel strongly about. And so I ended up having him join the panel as well. It was a little interesting because it's okay, we have a white man on our panel for Latinas. How does this work? And the reason why it works is because he's going to be on the hot seat here. We're really going to discuss the role that men, particularly white men, have in the cannabis industry, what they can do to better support women of color in this industry, what he has done, what his colleagues have done, examples. We're going to kind of be able to run some things by him and get his thoughts from his perspective, but also talk about our perspectives as well. And so I think that is how that makes sense, but also it creates a dynamic where it really is that full perspective, where we're not just talking about men. We got one right there where we can talk about, a few of our things that are important to this topic, and so we have, Sue Carlton, Ranchera Mami joining that panel as well. We have Thunder Walker from Oklahoma, who's going to be joining this panel. Sean Salvaje representing Texas. And then we got Brian. So that's going to be a really good, insightful discussion going down December 6th from 2 to 3 p.m. at Planet 13. Shout out to the High Stakes stage. Shout out to Beard Bros and, the Good Life Gang and Kat. She's amazing. Kat really is somebody, right? She is someone who just makes you feel so warm and just one of these gems in our industry. I'm so glad I got to meet her.
Yeah, and she is doing so much work to put this on, and it all comes from a place of love and a passion for the plant and a passion for community. Like, we just have to definitely give a shout out to Kat because she's an icon in this space.
She is. She really is. And so, just so much on her shoulders too. Probably 1 week before MJ Biz, I'm sure she has a lot that she's working on right now. On the topic of women in weed, so let's talk that portion of your article. I love that your article had such a good section of what women are doing at MJBizCon. So first things first, Adelia, our homegirl, right?
Yes.
Adelia and Parisa, shout out to Blunt Brunch. They are coming in hot with their Blunt Brunch again. Theirs is going down on Tuesday from 5 to 8. They're calling it the night of glitz and glamour. They're asking for the girlies to come dressed to the nines for their annual Blunt Brunch Nationals. So I'm excited to go to that. Are you heading there?
Yeah, of course. And we're actually doing live interviews from the red carpet. So starting at 5 o'clock. So anybody who wants to come early and grab a little drink and do an interview, please tap in with us. I already have my outfit picked out. I am so stoked.
Yes, yeah. I mean, outfits. That we should have a section about outfits, but like I know that this event particularly it's so great to be around women when we're all dressed up because it's just one of these moments where we feel our best, we look our best, and we're together. So I'm really excited to go there. Latinas in Cannabis is a collaboration partner for Blunt Brunch, and we've been promoting them. And yeah, I'm really excited to bring all women together for this. You also have something going on Wednesday, right? Smoke and Flower, another off-site retreat. Shout out to Lucia from that she's a part of that. What do we got going on there?
So that's actually going to be super sick. And there's going to be a shuttle going from the convention center all day. And
Love
so
that.
basically, it's a whole day of like relaxation and fun, a little break from the hectic nature of the conference. They have lots of different things happening, like breath work, a cute little holiday market. They have all kinds of stuff going on, specifically focused on women in weed. And the people who are putting it together are just amazing. And I definitely hope that I can get over there. It's a really busy day, but everyone should know that it's totally drop in. It's cash.
I
And you can
love
hit
that.
up, yeah, hit up the ladies for an invite, and you can catch the shuttle, I believe, outside of the central hall, like every half hour or something. So yeah,
Oh,
really, really
yes.
cool. Because you just need
Honestly,
a break sometimes.
that shuttle just takes it to the next level because there's no excuses at that point. Like dip in and out. Because I know
Yeah.
that that's usually the headache. Is like, oh, the Uber, or sometimes they'll pick you up on the wrong side and you have to walk across. And I know the girlies are in the heels or in uncomfortable shoes. That's not what you want. So the shuttle, shout out to them for just thinking about that aspect of things. Like you just more. So tell us about the women employed in cannabis and Surfside. So they are hosting two different women's happy hours close to the convention. Which is great to have happy hours that are women focused because I think that as women, sometimes when drinks get involved, we want to just feel comfortable when we're networking. So I really love that they are putting together these little networking areas. And also, Cannabis Queens and Ganja Goddesses, they will doing a book launch at the Tuscany Hotel. So many offshoot things are going on. And then I see here on your article, Latinas in Cannabis is mentioned there because we are actually not just doing the Beard Bros stage at High Stakes. We're also doing the largest Latinas in Cannabis industry meetup to date, guys. Like it is going down at MJBizCon at the
Yes, get
I
it
have
out there.
so yeah, it's really great to see so much going on for women specifically at both on and off site for during the conference. So now what's going on at night? So that's where we kind of refer to a lot of Excel spreadsheets, right? So tell us a little bit about what you got going on at night.
There is so much happening. The spreadsheets are so helpful. I think I
Yeah.
started doing the spreadsheet like 4 years ago or something, and it's just so helpful. I know other people do it too. Jake Kutzerick, his is awesome. There's a student from like LSUU who does one, and they're so handy because there's a lot to do. For me, some of the highlights on Tuesday, obviously, it's going to be all about Blunt Brunch. That's going to be sick.
Hmm.
Wednesday night, it's the C-Cell GLG Beard Bros party, and then I'll probably head over to the Grasslands party after that. I know Jimmy Devine's having a party as well. He Quest 3. I know a lot of our friends will be over there. And then Thursday, GreenState actually is a co-sponsor of an event called Sky High at the Cherie, happening at the Paris rooftop right before the MJs. So I definitely encourage people to hit me up if they want to come. It's going to be sick. And then the MJs obviously is going to be really fun. Last year, it was so cool to see the industry come out and everybody be celebrated.
Yes. So tell
Yes.
us a little bit about the MJs. Like, what can we expect? It's gonna be my first time going to the MJs. So surprised I did get chosen to be a presenter this year. So I'll be presenting,
Hey.
but I've also haven't been. So what can we expect for the MJs?
So it's a lot of fun. It takes place at the Palms. They have a beautiful theater. You go in there, everyone's dressed to the nines. You know, you hit the bar and you have your little like red carpet moment. There's a step and repeat. David Tran from Fairchild, they organized it. He's walking around. There's like showgirls. It's really, really cute. And then you go in and you kind of get the full Oscars experience. Last year there were a lot of little skits in between, lots of really cool presenters, big energy for sure. This year actually is going to be an even bigger show because they've expanded the categories. Last year it was limited to more just kind of ancillary B2B. This year there's going to be like content creator of the year, cannabis journalist of the year, which I'm nominated, and just,
Woo!
yay. And so a lot more dynamic content can be expected. And then afterwards, everyone goes to the Chaos nightclub there in the Palms for an epic after party. And it's definitely a night you will never forget. You're going to have a blast. And I'm so stoked that you're presenting. That's
Ooh,
awesome.
I'm excited. I do have my outfit planned for that one, so I'm really excited for that.
Oh, good.
I do think I'm gonna head to the grasslands party for a little bit. All the ones you said, I mean, we have to go to the Beard Bros things for sure. Blunt
Yes.
brunch, you can't miss. I'm looking at a spreadsheet right now, and it looks like there are so many things happening all over the place. Cosmopolitan, there's like meetups happening there. If you guys want to check out Excel spreadsheets, we're going to go ahead and link them at the Greens podcast Instagram. So make sure you follow there to see those links. On top of that, make sure you read the article because it's coming down just in a few days. But I think that having your article, this podcast, and those links, you just need to plan out your time, right? Because I think, like, let's talk about do's and don'ts right here.
Mhm.
So I think one of the biggest don't come out here with no plan, right? Like, I
Yep.
think it's easily to get overwhelmed because one would think, oh, you have a ticket to the conference, you just go to the conference and back to the hotel. You're gonna miss out on so much, right? So
Yeah.
what is like your biggest don't? Let's start with a don't.
Oh man, I have so many don'ts. But honestly, what first comes to mind is don't jam pack your schedule either, though, because you're going to be late, right? First of all, traffic sucks in Las Vegas. If you're trying to get around, unless you're on that Tesla tunnel or the monorail, like it's going to take a lot longer for you to get around. You're going to get pulled in a million directions. The convention is massive. So if you're trying to get from like the entrance all the way to the other side of the hub, that's going to take you a hot second. So, and don't commit to a zillion different parties. Obviously, there's a lot going on. Pick a few that really speak to your goals and your values that you want to hit. You can't do everything. So don't think that you can.
Yeah, that's a really good don't because I can tell you that personally, sometimes I don't want to let someone down. So I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, there is no physical way I can make it to all of these things. So
Yeah.
that's really good advice. Just understand that like you may want to go, but the reality of the situation is that you can only do one or two things, maybe three things for the night, right? Like what's
Yeah.
realistic here? So I think that's a good don't. I think that one of the biggest don'ts I would say for women, footwear,
Mm,
um
yep.
I get it, pain, beauty is pain, but I also think at a certain extent you have to be practical when you have to get to one side to the next and you have to walk there. Like, we may want to look cute, but may have to be practical. So I think that one of the biggest don'ts is maybe don't underestimate the level of walking you'll have to do, right?
Yep, exactly. I literally was having a meeting with someone on our team last week, and it's his very first MJBizCon, and I was like, wear sensible shoes, like for sure. And like, we'll have our heels on for blunt brunch and like those cute moments, but when you're at the show during the day, have something sensible on or have something in your bag, throw some flats in there.
Yeah. Yeah. good point. Little tip, little side tip. So I'm a huge fan of these shoes that I don't even know if they have them anymore, but I bought them years ago. They're shoes that you roll away. And you
Mhm.
honestly roll them into a little baggie, and the baggie itself, you put your heels in it, and then you can swap out here and there. They have
So
saved
smart.
my life so much. So fun fact about me, I used to do pageants back in the day. And
Oh.
so I used to be in heels all the time, and we used to have to find tips and tricks. And so
Mhm.
I know how to tape toes. I know how to like do certain support things, and but at the end of the day, not wearing the heels is also an option, girlies,
Mhm.
And there's a lot of really good options, even just a good clean sneaker can go a long way. A good clean white sneaker with pants
Yep.
can go a long way. We don't always have to do the heels, that's the patriarchy.
Yes,
So
exactly. Exactly. You can be cute in all different types of footwear.
you can. So I think that's a really good one. Let's do a couple do's. I would say do get proper rest as much as you can. I get it. There's so many things you have to do. But if you get back to your hotel and it's late and you're going to stay up to do content, get to bed. Get to bed. And I'm saying that as you. I am you. Like I have been that person. I was
Mhm.
at Benzinga a couple of months ago, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't I got home not too late." And then I stayed up doing work. And then the next day, I didn't feel too good. And I'm like, "Why did I do this? Why did I do
Mhm.
this?" So, I think that's my biggest do is that do get that rest. Prioritize as much rest as you can get, right? I know it's going to be busy. What's a good do for you?
Do drink water. Drink a lot of it. Slam that shit. Like the first thing I do when I get to Vegas is I pull up to like the 7-Eleven or whatever, and I get like a bunch of jugs of my spring water. I have it in my hotel so I can be constantly refilling my bottle all weekend because you're moving, you're talking, you're smoking. It's dry as hell out there. And if you get dehydrated, it's going to be like a domino effect, right? And especially if you're tired, it's not a good thing. So
Yeah.
drink water, stay hydrated.
That's such a good point because, like any conference, you should just drink water, period. If there's drinking, you should drink water. But guys, we are in Nevada. We're in Las Vegas. It is so dry. Like, it's to the point where personally, like when I just 2 days in Vegas, I start getting dry around the face.
Hmm.
So I'm drinking water like so much. So I think you're gonna be smoking likely. You're gonna be talking a lot. You're gonna be drinking, walking. Like you should be drinking water nonstop and going to the bathroom also.
Yeah, and eat protein too. Like
Eat
I always
protein.
have like literally like beef sticks and like protein snackies in my purse because there's like never any food. And like it's one thing like to get to go to dinner, but like during the day, like you gotta last. So get some.
Yeah, you're so right. Snacks, right? High protein, low sugar snacks in your purse. Good one. Good one.
Mhm.
Any tips regarding smoking? Maybe stay away from edibles, or what do you think?
I mean, it depends on you as a person, right? And like your
Mhm.
own
Mhm.
personal comfort level. Like, I know for me, I've definitely had to kind of take a step back from THC the last couple of years. It's been getting worse lately. So I'm going to have my CBD. Also, it goes without saying, but like the more you share, the more likely it is that you're going to get sick. And it seems like every single year, a bunch of people come home from MJBiz, they have COVID, they're sick, and we're like going into the holidays, and like that's not what you want. So I'd recommend like, yeah, having your own personal stash or like getting one of those like mouthpiece things, right? Like as a filter, because you don't necessarily want to be like hitting all these gnarly joints and you don't know what it is and like whose mouth's been on it. So
You're
safety
so
first on
right.
that end.
Every
Yeah.
conference usually results in people getting sick, and hopefully it's not serious, but get with it, right? I think personals is very, yeah. I don't think it's rude to be like, you know, I'm gonna smoke this by myself. Actually, a fun fact, I have a good friend of mine who's a heavy smoker, and when she doesn't want to share with you, what she'll do is she'll do it in a nice way. She'll be like, I rolled you one. I rolled you one. And that's
Oh,
like a very clear sign of like, okay, I got you. But hey, that's a nice thing to do.
That's
So
cute. I
yeah.
should start doing that. Yeah, because like I have to be so careful because I'm so sensitive to THC lately and like specific terps.
Oh
It's like
yeah.
if I don't know specifically like what you're smoking, it's like I don't want to risk it because if I fall apart, it's like we're out here working, you know what I mean? Like I can't
No.
get like too crazy. So,
No, yeah, you were out here working. You do have to squeeze every last bit of every day and night because, at the end of the day, what are we here for if it's not making the most out of it? And if you smoke too much, if you get sick, that all takes away, from your experience. So absolutely. I think
yeah.
I do want to touch on outfits a little bit.
Hmm.
How do you dress to MJBizCon? Is it black suit, do you stuffy, jeans, whatever? I feel like with conferences, especially for the ladies, it's good to be covered up and it's good to be comfortable. And like that's usually my rules, like covered up, comfortable, feeling good about myself. What about you? What's your approach to outfits?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think it's whatever helps you feel in your power. And so if that's like a suit, that's going to make you feel confident, cool. If it's like your favorite, like cute little dress or like whatever, like cool. It's whatever you feel confident in. I think you're absolutely right. Like it's good to keep it a little buttoned up because it actually is cold in Nevada,
It is.
especially at night, like this time of year. Like you're going to be cold at night. Like bring a jacket. And B, like, I hate to say it, but like there are some like gross people there, you know what I mean? And like it shouldn't be on us to have to like censor ourselves or whatever, but like, you know, we don't want to have any like inappropriate comments going. So I'm just like, let me be cute, but I'm not trying to like necessarily put it all out there. That's just my opinion. More power to everybody else who
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
But like I've had so many girls come up to me and be like, I wasn't even wearing anything like that wild, and guys were like making comments to me or like whatever. And so
Mm-mm.
whatever, but at the end of the day, it's whatever makes you feel best and whatever makes you feel confident, because when you're confident, as we said in the beginning of the podcast, that's what you're going to invite, and you're going to invite that power back. So
Oh yeah. At the end of the day, you have to be comfortable, whether it's physically comfortable or comfortable like within your own like where how you feel.
yeah.
And absolutely. I think that power colors, knowing your power color is a big thing. Do you know your power color? Is there a color that you feel comfortable in?
Lately it's been actually a little bit more like red and like maroon and purple. I
Ooh,
usually wear like a lot of black, just because it's so easy.
classic.
But yeah, classic. It's simple. You know, you can mix and match. Definitely green. You know, and obviously because of the event. Actually, a couple of years ago, before MJ Biz, I found this wild outfit. Like, I found this green, like emerald green, like velour blazer at a consignment store, and then literally that same night, I found matching pants at a store. Like
Wow.
I know, and I was
See,
wearing
what
it,
did I
and
say?
people were like, "Oh my
Aligned.
God, this literally," and people were like, "This suit is amazing." And I was like, "Can you believe they are separates from two different stores? God wanted this fit to happen. I
Yep.
just know it." And so, yeah, so I think, I don't know, I've been already kind of like planning out what I'm going to wear each day. I still don't have my outfit picked out for the
Yeah.
MJs. So I'm curious for you, like, what's your power color? Like,
I
what are some
have
of
my
the fits that
outfit
you're
packed for the
bringing?
MJ. I have it ready for. I don't have
Okay.
it packed. Okay. Okay. I'm not that crazy. But what I do. So this is my process. Maybe other people have a similar process. Maybe they don't. So in my office, we have like a guest bedroom, and so that couch, I lay out the outfits and then I just try them on, and then like I like
Mm,
literally just as I would wear that and I try to see like how do I feel, is the fit okay? Do I have a pooch coming out or what's going on here? And then I'll take it off and I'll just try them all on. And that's what I've been doing. So right now where I'm at in the process is they're laid out and I'm like matching shoes with it. So for the MJs, I got the email that said things that like the theme and what they're going for, and so they're going for kind of classic, Las Vegas with the retro vibe, right?
mhm,
So I think I'm going to go green with it. I'm going to go shimmery with it. And I think I'm going to do my hair kind of like a lot of volume, a good curl, a good
mm,
soft curl. And I think that I'm going to go with that. So let's see how I put it together. I think for my panel, I'm going to do a good suit, like a good classy like female cute suit, not like a business suit, but like a cute girl suit. I'm
mhm.
gonna do that one. And I think for the other days, like a good slack. good slacks, roomy slacks. I want to do a good blouse. My power color is red. I
Yeah.
feel confident in red. A hot pink I feel good in. So I'm excited to put these fits together. And I think for anybody out there that's worried about what to wear, be confident, be comfortable, and I think that's the path. You know what I mean?
Totally. And honestly, one of my favorite parts about the expo floor is the fit check, right? Because
Ooh.
there's like literally so many types of outfits there, right? Like you've got the classic like blue suit, brown shoes, but then you always see somebody like in the full like weed leaf print
Oh, I,
suit.
I know that.
And
I've seen
then
those people before.
yeah, and then you see like people like in weird mascot outfits. You see people who are just like literally like tie-dye sweatshirt and like crunchy, pants or whatever. Like it literally, there's something for everybody there, and I love it. I don't know what I'm gonna wear I'm doing a panel on Tuesday. I'm actually doing two, and I still haven't decided what I'm going to wear. I have this really cute like dark purple blazer, like velour blazer that I got, and I haven't worn it
Ooh.
yet. So today I was out kind of looking for something. I was like, I need some like cute slacks to go with
Yeah,
this
yeah.
transition to the evening wear for the MJs. I'm excited for that kind of retro theme. I'm going to start looking up like pictures of like women at the Oscars in the 60s and see like
Ooh,
what they
yes.
were
That's what I
wearing.
did. That's what I did too.
That's
And so
smart.
my friend Sue, she's been sending me photos and she's like, "What do you think?" And I think she might go leopard print. I'm not sure. I definitely I have a vision that I'm trying to execute here. And so this weekend I'm doing skincare. I'm getting a good facial, getting my nails done, making sure the hair is right. And yeah, I just want to make the most of it, like you said. And I think that
Yeah.
MJ Biz, I got an email from them and they are pushing their checklist. They're trying to
Mm.
get people to be like, don't mess around here. So the number one thing they have on their checklist is to view their show guide. So you can go on their website on Emerald, it's info.emerald ex.com or MJBizCon, and they have their show guide where you can see everything. They're also asking that you download the app. Do you have the app yet?
I do not have the app. I guess I probably should. I know
I think
people
I
have
do
been
too.
trying to contact me through it, but I need to like opt in or whatever. It's probably very handy, especially
Yeah.
because the cell service and the Wi-Fi in there is probably not going to be super great. So if you have the app, it'll probably make it a lot easier to
Oh
navigate, I would
yeah,
assume.
good
Yeah.
call. So be sure to download the app. That's that's connect.mjbizconference.com to download it. And apparently you can upgrade your MJ BizCon experience for less. There's a coupon here in the emails. Make sure you sign up where people who want to upgrade their tickets, which is great to see. So they do have their little checklist, and they're also asking that before you go, you do a couple things, including, again, download that app and to plan your transportation. So MJ Biz is being really cool about giving you maps and like monorail, rideshare, Texas, something called Texas, taxi, not Texas, the Vegas Loop. Apparently, you can roll into MJ BizCon in style with a Tesla Loop at the convention center.
The loop is sick. And so we stayed at Resorts World last year, and that's one of the stops. I don't know how many stops there are now. They may have added a few, but yeah, it's like a tunnel underneath, and you go down and you get in a Tessie and you go through this like
Ooh.
psychedelic, it's like giving Rainbow Road from like Mario, and then you just pop out and you're at the convention center. It's sick, and it's only like $5 to take
What?
it. It's awesome.
Well,
Yeah,
you
it's
heard it here, guys, at the Greens podcast. All you need to know for MJ BizCon this year. Any last minute things that people need to know. I think, oh, yeah, yeah. Don't miss your flight. Don't be that guy, Don't be rushing. You have the weekend. Like, start packing now, right? When I fly in on the 3rd because my panel's on the 3rd for the pre-forum. So I'll be there on the 3rd, super, super early. I'm probably gonna have my hair in curlers for maximum volume. You girlies know what's up. But yeah, I'm truly really excited. I'm gonna make sure to take my vitamins this weekend because I'm not trying to come in sick either. But yeah, any last minute things you want to let people know?
Yeah, get your immunity shots. I always dose up on those. Grab some liquid IV, the little packets for your purse.
Mm.
And come and tap in with GreenState. We're going to be doing stuff all week. We're going to be doing a media panel from 12 to 12:30 on Wednesday, the 4th at Planet 13. I'm going to be on two panels starting at 2 o'clock on Thursday at MJBiz. And then come to our party at 5 o'clock at the Cherie, or Sky High at the Cherie at Paris. It's going to be sick. And yeah, if you see me, like, come say hi. I would love to say hello to everybody. And remember that it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So don't get into town and get all lit one night and ruin your whole week. You got to last.
Yes, that is so, so true. Don't burn out. I think that happens a lot. There's a meme that's going around. I'm sure you've seen it, where it's like day one, MJBizCon looking spiffy. Day two, still pretty spiffy. Day three, it's like full on like straw hat and jeans. And then day four, you're just like in like can't even like. And so that does happen to certain extent. But try, like we said earlier, try to get that rest. You know, I'm definitely gonna get prepared because, like I mentioned, I do have a jam-packed week, and I'm just excited for it. I'm gonna be on that panel on the 3rd. On the 4th, we're doing the California Takeover from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. I'm really excited for the Latinas in Cannabis meetup because this half hour is going to be jam-packed. We're going to be doing an intention-setting grounding ceremony by Amorinda Martinez. She's such an amazing curandera. She's a psychedelics integration facilitator, but she's also just an amazing exercise leader that we're going to be having do this. So she's amazing. Founder of Tranquil Highs is her company. So she's going to be leading this exercise for us. Then we're going to be doing gift bags. We're going to, for the first ladies that get there, they're going to get some good gift bags. We're also be doing a group photo for all the Latinas that show up and just some content together. Like, let's meet up. Let's see what's up. Let's connect. We have a lot of ladies who are DMing Latinas in Cannabis, our Instagram, to just connect and like make their plans. So I'm really excited for that. We do have a partnership with MJ Biz. Latinas in Cannabis and MJ Biz partnered together earlier this year. And so this is kind of part of our partnership, is doing stuff like this. So shout out to MJ Biz for giving us this platform. But that's not all. Also, later on that same day, I'm going to be joining Mita. So if you guys know Mita, the manufacturing organization, shout out to Dimitri, Rita, and the whole team. I'm going to be doing moderating for some of their podcast episodes. So I'm going to be there on the 5th from 2 p.m. till 3 p.m. And then I'm going to run. When I tell you I'm going to run, I'm going to run over back to the hub area, to the Jack Hare Air bus. What do you know about that one? The Jack Hare Air bus. Have you heard about that?
No, but it sounds sick.
I have been trying to find more info on what it looks like because apparently that's where they're going to be having a lot of podcasting. So the Jack Hare bus. So they invited the Greens Pod, this podcast, to actually do episodes at the Jack Hare bus at the convention floor. So we're going to be having a 2-hour block. My first guest, we're going to be welcoming Nima Samari, the CEO and co-founder of Cannabiotics. And then our second episode, we're going to be having Adam Banky, the co-founder of High Road, which is a sales agency in California. So I'm really excited to take the Greens podcast to Vegas and take what we do here and really just do these interviews in person. And while the energy's hot, you know, and then after that is when I'm gonna run to my hotel to freshen up to do the MJs, which is so that whole day, the 5th, Thursday, is gonna be jam packed. But it doesn't end there. Friday, we're doing an amazing roundtable at the High Stakes stage, and that will wrap up MJ Biz, which it's just going to be jam-packed. It's going to go by in a blink of an eye, which is why we're underscoring being prepared, drinking that water, getting that rest, and doing it right?
Yep, exactly. I mean, everyone kind of goes through the motions when they're starting out with this conference, and you kind of get in your flow. So set your intention, make your plan. Remember that sometimes things might not go to that plan. Be okay, like forgive yourself. It's going to be awesome. And just put it out there what you want to get back, and make sure that you actually think about that afterwards too, right? Like think about the contents that you made. Think about did you meet your goals, and make sure to follow up. It's hard
Yeah,
because we're going to
follow
go right
up.
into the holidays. So just
Yeah.
remember, like, if you need to follow up in January, that's cool too, but it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Follow-ups are so key. Sometimes it can be easy to get wrapped up in like the conference and everything happened, and then you get home and then it's like it never happened. Like you have to follow
Yep.
up, guys. Yeah. Thank you so much, Rachelle Gordon from Green State, for joining the Greens Paused, and I will see you next week in Vegas.
Yay. I can't wait. Thanks for having me. See you soon.
Bye.